Good evening. It's April 14th, 2022. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your daily source for news and politics. Hey, asshole, what separates our show from other millennial news podcasts?
That we firmly believe we should play Cowboys and Ghosts.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. But no, we have a boomer, not just any boomer. We have Mr. Boomer Rex himself.
Yeah, good evening.
You two eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning that's three unique perspectives we share, along with the facts from our once again literal round table.
I got your back, the internet.
Let's dig right into our headlines. Mystery sarcophagus in Notre Dame. Tell me about this.
It's Dracula, we're all gonna die.
I did read that right. It is a sarcophagus, right?
That's what that is.
Okay, cool. I just...
A
You were giving me a
mysterious
look.
leaden sarcophagus was discovered in the bowels of Notre Dame after it was devastated.
Sign cement over it.
It will soon be opened
Why,
Oh, no, don't open it!
and its secrets revealed.
No! Hey, I got
know-
an idea.
You know
Let's-
the early part of the early zombie movie? Right.
With the dragon movie, but this probably isn't aimed at
Same
dragons.
thing is you get these little foreshadowings of
Yeah.
things are not right.
Hey, there's a weird thing down Tunnel 4.
Mm-hmm.
Come see what we found.
Yeah.
Can we just assume it's the old bell ringer or whatever, like deformed and whatever, and just leave it alone? Like, let him R.I.P.?
That's not their plan.
Quasimodo.
Yes, thank you.
So anyway, it was found the day before the third anniversary of the inferno that engulfed the Notre Dame. It was found 20 meters underground. That's 65 feet. Right? Lying among the brick pipes of a 19th century heating system. Okay, that's not too terrible. But it's believed to be much older, possibly from the 14th century, which would make
the
it...
plague.
Well, it wandered in and out for years.
Yeah, true.
It would be an exceedingly rare burial form for the 14th century. It was discovered under a mound of earth that had furniture from the 14th century. So anyway, they're planning on cutting this open, and they're going to determine the social rank of the deceased. And given the place and style of burial, they were presumably among the elite of their time. Guys, it's a zombie or Dracula.
Yeah.
Take your pick. So go right
Zombie
ahead
alligator.
and open it. At least it'll start in France.
Somebody hire Geraldo. He'll find a Helsing.
Oh, God.
Why are people dumb?
Bored, really?
Don't touch
Or some
the
incredibly
sarcophagus.
some
Don't touch it.
incredibly evil disease
Yeah, that's more my
that they wrapped in lead because nobody could figure out what the hell it was. And
This was the
person
worst shit
died
we had
really
to keep
bad.
it in.
yeah.
All right. Let's talk about the Russian warship Moskva has sunk.
Yeah, it's just great.
Just
I love
keep
it.
Swimming. Just keep swimming.
So the Russians are telling us they had a fire.
Yep.
And that would be because soldiers were behaving badly and
Yeah.
so forth and so on. And that the fire set off an ammunition bunker and damaged the ship. And they were busily towing it home in heavy seas when it sank.
I love Russian propaganda.
Yeah,
It is
I love it too.
So much
it's
more
really
fun than
odd
reality.
that they had a fire the same day the Ukrainians say they shot at it with their Neptune missiles. So anyway,
Good job, Ukraine.
Well, that
You
was-
sunk the Russian warship that you told to go fuck itself. Now it aggressively is fucking itself at the bottom of the ocean.
you got it.
This is so happy. This
While
makes me
being
happy.
towed toward the destined port, the vessel lost its balance due to damage sustained in the hull
By the
as the fire
explosions
broke out.
from the
Given
bombs.
the choppy seas, the vessel sank. Yeah, way to go, Ukraine. You sank the flagship of the Black Sea Fleet.
Right?
Love it.
Hope it
Well
was a
played.
border guard unit that did it.
All right. Tell me about Devin Nunes defamation suit appeal thrown out.
I
This is
just
funny.
love this. We're going to, I mean, he files these suits like once a week or whatever. I mean,
I would too. He's got nothing to do with Truth Social.
Devin's cow. Anyway, it's true.
He's got time.
Cow, that's
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That wasn't the suit. He had sued CNN because they had reported that prior to the 2016 election, that he had been one of the people who went to try to extort from the Ukraine some information about Hunter Biden to embarrass Joe Biden.
Right.
So anyway, the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan ruled 2-1 that he failed to seek a correction quickly enough from the network, or to show that he deserved special damages to make up for economic loss. I mean, he's always in court. But I just thought it was amusing that Devin Nunes got another defamation suit thrown out. And it's the standard Trump thing, right?
Yeah.
Just sue him. So,
Right, it's a slap lawsuit.
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Little people won't cover you because they're afraid of getting tangled up with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, RNC says no more presidential debates because they lose in them so often. I
Because
don't
if people
understand.
really know what you believe, they won't vote for you.
They voted to withdraw from the Commission on Presidential Debates, which is an independent commission that set up the presidential debates. It's incredibly easy to understand. You look at the range of people that they could possibly have as presidential candidates: DeSantis, Trump, and these are people who are going to get stomped in a debate. Trump got humiliated
multiple times.
Just made himself look stupid, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's easy to understand why the Republicans would want not to be part of that, and to be able to turn down opportunities to debate. And they'll have little town halls in fuck you, Utah.
We should punish the living shit out of them with this, because this means we can now do a 30 or 40-minute infomercial for the Democrats, and there is no for equal time bullshit.
Right.
They said no.
Yeah. And we'll have all the media from their little idiot town hall meetings, because they got to get it out.
Yep.
Right. And to play against. Right. This is a huge mistake on their part. That's great. I love it.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've heard in a while. I mean, I've heard some pretty ridiculous stuff, but a lot of it's pretty mundane and everyday now.
If you know that your candidate is going to get kicked
stupid.
in the goddamn teeth in a debate,
Right,
you don't want to do the debate.
You know what? Even
and they
people
can't do the Rose Garden strategy because they don't own the Rose Garden.
Here's the problem.
They fucked it up.
Even people. Oh,
I know, it's awful.
Fucking.
That is
Everybody
the
was
comparison
so
between
mad.
the two. It's like her Christmas decorations with the blood red trees and the. There's a woman with absolutely no
Disney villain?
taste.
She is a bit.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. She's like Cruella DeVille.
Yeah.
Like a villain doodle.
Yeah.
Cruella DeVille. Okay, anyway. All right. BoomerX is about damn time. Do you have good news for me tonight? I do love good news.
Well, so Stephen Miller,
Yes.
is one of Trump's little
Dum
White
dum.
What did Harry Miller have to say today?
went before the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th attack.
Right.
One of the things from that was you can see that he's beginning to form his defense around that he believed that the election had been stolen. Stephen Miller has an IQ above 70, so he knew damn well the election wasn't stolen.
Yeah.
So anyway, but
Everybody
he was one
knew
of
the
those
election
who was
wasn't
pushing
stolen.
before the election.
Right.
He was pushing approaches to use false electors to stop the transfer of power.
And there's tape.
So anyway, so we got him in front of the committee. He may or may not have told lies. We'll find out.
Sex, lies, and videotape. Well, Mr. Miller, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah.
You unfuckable little chia pet.
He is one of the more repulsive.
Oh, I get why you'd like to limit people's options.
Yeah.
So this dumbass of the day, who is actually getting dumbass of the day? Because I read your story.
Dumbass of the day goes to the Durham, North Carolina City Council.
Perfect. That's what I hoped.
Who
What
refused.
the fuck did they do now?
They refused to pay a $6 million award from a federal court for a person who served 23 years in prison because the evidence against him was fabricated.
Somebody should ask North Carolina if they want this year's federal highway funds, because I think we should give their share to this guy.
So anyway, they're refusing to pay up. Again, it's a $6 million federal award. The later DNA test showed that he absolutely didn't do it. He's innocent. So, in any case, he's got this judgment against the city of North Carolina, which they don't want to pay.
Well, the city of Durham.
Yes, yes. And the evidence against him was fabricated. It was fabricated by Detective Darrell Dowdy, who was found to have invented evidence against Howard in the incredibly shitty investigation that was done. The city paid $4 million to defend Dowdy in the suit, which they lost. But now they're refusing to pay the $6 million federal award. So
Can
I
they
think,
do that?
I think that Howard can go to the U.S. Department of Justice and say, would you give me some federal officers to go begin seizing the property of the city of Durham and selling it?
Yep.
And I would propose that if you do that, where you go is you go to the police lot first thing in the morning and take every single car that's there, every single vehicle that's there. Right? And you'll have federal officers to guard it, and 2 days later you can have a sale.
Yeah,
So, and you just keep doing it till you got your $6 million.
This is
Yeah, I don't.
what is
I don't,
happening in the world today that people think that when the courts say you need to pay money, that just no, I don't.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it's
Is
fine.
Donald Trump under charges?
It's fine.
right?
Is Rudy Giuliani under charges?
No, but that's my point. My point is that
Okay.
we're not getting any of these people on anything.
Did we
and it
manage
drives
to
me
convict
insane.
Epstein? Oh, wait, we did convict him, and we gave him, what was it, 2 years with an ankle monitor?
He's the only person that got a better deal than Bob Kraft.
So, yeah, the justice system is fucking broken. The social contract's fucking broken.
That's probably
And
bad.
until we fix it, things are going to get worse, worse, and worse.
And speaking of things getting worse, tell me about this. More and more 50-year-olds find themselves homeless.
Yeah.
50-plus-year-olds, sorry.
Yep. A lot of folks are retiring to their cars.
Yeah. No, this is
To the streets.
part of what made me crazy was finding out that half of boomers have less than $10,000 to retire on. And under 50 is technically not a boomer. It's one of the
So a
weird
one-bedroom
kids,
apartment
but
in Phoenix is $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Right. So that 10,000 you
Significantly
got to
it
go
doesn't
that
even
far.
carry them a year of housing. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is ridiculous.
They're going to work till they die.
So anyway, Carla Finocchio's slide into homelessness began when she split with her partner of 18 years and then moved in with a cousin. She had been planning to use her $800 a month disability check to get an apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The one-bedroom apartment is $1,200.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like $400 short of rent, and we haven't talked about food yet.
Yeah. Nah, people want me to eat. When you retire, you don't need food at all.
Anyway, she's got a German Shepherd that lives in her truck with her. America, this is not how you treat your old folks.
It's not how you
Yo,
treat anybody.
Old folks, if you're in, living in a vehicle, or worried about having to live in a vehicle, or worried about having to live under a bridge, go get registered. And if you vote for a Republican, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, Democrats,
Yeah.
go fix this
Yep.
shit.
Yep.
God.
No, it's infuriating. We need to make America work for Americans again.
Yep.
Aggressively.
America needs to work for all Americans.
Yep. All right. Clothing shaming assault victims is still a favorite Republican pastime. Tell me what
Oh,
is
God.
going
I
on.
wanted to go tweet at her.
Yep,
I may still. Yeah, I know this one.
yeah.
It's Ohio, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nebraska.
she is.
So anyway, Charles Herbster, who is, oh, excuse me.
It's going to be different.
No, Charles Herbster, who has always been a Republican mega donor and so forth.
No.
He's been endorsed by Donald Trump, right?
Yes, I mean, this is horrific.
And now at least 7 women who've come forward and said that the heat broke to them, right? And typically what he does is put his hands up their dresses while they're standing next to him and he's sitting down. So, remind you of anybody who's on the Supreme Court?
I was thinking of Bush Sr.
Yeah, true. So,
That is disturbing.
anyway, no, it's just a standard frat boy thing. So, one of this Herbster's reporters, supporters, is standing firm, and he says, well, I want to get her on the witness stand, and I'd like to ask her what she was wearing.
All right. Can I give an example of what women wear when they get assaulted?
Blue jeans and a t-shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not a low neck t-shirt, a high neck, the type of t-shirt a guy would wear.
Yeah. No, she texted a picture of the dress that she was wearing the night that she was assaulted. And it's a high-necked cocktail dress, slightly longer than knee length.
Oh, so it's pretty
Quite
conservative
modest, yeah.
for a cocktail dress.
Yeah.
So again, it doesn't matter what people are wearing. Clothing does not
Oh,
cause
but it
assaults.
does to the frat boy mentality, which is what you're seeing. The boys will be boys. It doesn't mean anything. No, it's horse shit. And the fact that men like this are allowed to breathe after they're in high school, I'm sorry, guys, but that makes every one of us who is male in this country, we should be ashamed of ourselves.
I just want to remind everybody, because we've spoken about this before, so just a brief reminder that assaults are not about sex. Sexual assaults, any other type of, it's not about sex.
It's about power.
It's about power.
Yeah, it's a frat boy
This
thing.
has nothing to do with what a woman's wearing or how she's behaving or what she, whatever. It's a power
thing.
play.
But, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Jock thing, but yeah, the number I know is if you got rid of sports, you could solve,
Half of
yeah,
yeah.
of college sexual assaults.
Yeah.
Which, cool, that seems like a good trade.
Which may be because they're feeding everybody steroids.
Oh, for sure.
So
but
you get steroid rage and so on. But anyway.
Yeah, just fucking disgusting.
No, it's
and
so.
It needs
it's
to
so.
stop. It needs to stop.
It's so typically.
So transparent.
It's so typically Republican leadership that I just couldn't resist talking about it. And this, of course, is the guy Trump endorsed for governor.
Right. So, did you have something?
I'm trying to find, because I had heard that an ex-Ohio mayor wants to know what
That's him.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, so I want to go on Twitter and like, do you want her to tell it to you slow too?
Yeah.
I fuck these humans. I mean, because it's not about, as we said, they just want to know so that when they're rubbing one out, thinking about it, they can picture it accurately.
Yeah.
I fuck these humans all the way down.
No, it's disgusting. So, speaking of disgusting things, before we get into our next story, I have a very quick personal story that I want to share with you all. So today, I'm on my Facebook, minding my own business, going through my feed like usual, and I stumble across the most hateful, disrespectful, anti-trans meme I've ever seen. And it truly offended me in ways that I can't even describe. And I refuse to explain what the meme was because it was just stupid and not insightful. It wasn't funny. It was just so offensive and such a waste of time, right? Like, whoever took the time to make this is a waste of space. Like, they shouldn't
But
be
somebody
breathing.
you knew well enough to have in your feed.
It was somebody from a previous life that, I used to know. And, they post these things pretty regularly that annoy me, but they're allowed to have their own opinion, whether I agree with it or not. Yeah. And most of the time they focus on politics and politicians and celebrity, right?
Stuff
I'm
you can
fine with
actually, like, summon a reason to give a shit enough to have an opinion on.
I don't care if they want to, pick on celebrity or politicians, which I consider politicians celebrity now. But my point is that
she's always kind of annoyed me. And this just crossed a line for me. So I reported her and I blocked her. And this is what we need to do. This is how, because I could have commented to her. I could have said horrible things to her. I could have said nice things to her. I could have tried to explain to her why she was wrong. But no, it's not worth my time. It's not worth my effort. And she wouldn't have listened anyway. So for me, this was an appropriate way of handling this situation. And if she ever tries to contact me again, I will explain to her, I don't speak to bigots. Yeah. I don't do hate speech. Yeah. It is unacceptable to me, and I will cut you out of my life for it.
This again being why I would much rather have us having the arguments about abortion with the Republicans and the things where they overplay their hand, right? Yeah. The things where everyone going forward, the audience can look at them and go, what the fuck are they on about?
Yeah.
Right, the shouting about the furries and okay, first off, you don't know any furries. The handful of furries I do know are great people.
So, the reason why I wanted to discuss this is because we have a story. Anti-LGBTQ rants are amping up, and threats of violence are becoming more common and more widespread.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
One of the big purveyors of those is Fox News.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Right? And they're just embarrassingly bad. Mm-hmm. But it's everywhere in the Republican Party right now. And all of this hate-filled rhetoric and violence-filled rhetoric, right? Yep. So we have people suggesting they should be shot on sight. We have so forth and so on. So anyway, the new part of that Fox is just in head over heels is that school employees are groomers because they work in school and they're pedophiles and they're...
Because the crazy is inside Fox News and we are listening to them fall to QAnon.
Yeah. But anyway, the responses are, this stuff isn't going to change until the point where there's body bags, straight to the wood chipper with them. These are, comments on Fox's stories.
Right.
And then they do things like there was an inaccurate report that there was a Connecticut school giving puberty blockers to an 11-year-old student without the parents' consent. Totally erroneous story.
And from the people who didn't give a shit when they were actually giving my generation Ritalin without parents' consent.
Yeah, that's true.
And forcing it upon parents who didn't want to give their kids Ritalin.
Your kid's got to be on meth or they can't come back.
And in any case, this 11-year-old student had her parents' knowledge and consent, and they were working with the school. And as typical, if you have to have a drug during the day, they give it to the school nurse, and they give it to you. So anyway, the follow-up on this is the superintendent is supporting leftist grooming. She needs to be executed by our judicial system. That's a user posting, right? Mm-hmm. They didn't actually say that on Fox. This was proud American Korean.
So probably not a Southerner.
Lots and lots of vulgar and threatening emails and phone calls to officials at the Hartford Public School District. Some of them directly targeting the superintendent. And so it's a district spokesperson talking here, and I hope they really are. It says, we're taking the allegations and threats directed at our teachers and staff extremely seriously. We hope that other members of the community will work with us to create the best possible environment for all children. Fine. If you are taking those threats seriously, they need to have armed guards at their house.
If I were them, I would be looking to get in contact with the Not Fucking Around Coalition, the group that marched to Cold Mountain and all that.
Yep.
Armed. And go.
I need a couple of guys to...
I need either guys you got trained or I need some guys who can go through the training.
Yep.
And just make them level 3 guards. You can do it quick.
Yep.
And... again, part of me is tempted to say that, right, if you get death threats, right, suck them all in, blow the living shit out of them.
Right?
No, you thought they were lawn gnomes? Nope, decorative claymores, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Don't have decorative claymores, the internet. We don't have any claymores, the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just start.
Although if you're going to have them, decorative's better.
All right, updates with BoomerX. What do you got for climate weirding?
Yeah, I decided to omit Omicron.
There's no reason to talk
well,
about
it turns out YouTube can't tell one Omicron story from another. So
Well, I
we'll
think
come
it's,
back if there's an issue.
Yeah.
So, but for climate weirding, we just completed the most thorough, geomapping and climate mapping in forests that's ever been done.
How's it going?
What we found,
Good
looking
news,
back
right?
at the history, is that on a global scale, there was a consistently hotter, drier pattern, what we call hot drought fingerprint. That can show us how unusually hot or dry it has to get for forests to be at risk of death. That fingerprint shows that forest mortality events consistently occurred when the typically hottest and driest months of the year
that makes sense.
got hotter and drier.
Right.
And this is happening around the world.
And when the trees die, people die.
Yeah.
Yeah, haven't they found like a weird correlation to
Yeah.
trees being killed and people dying?
I wouldn't be surprised if after having a relatively stable climate for 80,000 years or so, that people and trees weren't kind of sort of attuned to
Similar
yesterday's
shit.
climate, pre-weirding.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of bad.
No, that's
Yeah, it's
real bad.
all not good.
So, I want to discuss a Facebook meme that's going around about how Vikings used to give brides cats. I have found nowhere that historically can prove this was a thing, but you can't disprove it either. There's not a lot of information about Vikings, but what I did find out is that Vikings did keep cats, especially on their boats and stuff,
Yeah.
to help with
And
mice
rats.
and rats and things. But they also kept them not just as pets, but they would use their pelts. So they would kill them for their for their fur and I assume eat them. So if you see that cute little meme, don't share it. It's not
Looking kinda
necessarily factual. They might have as part of like the
Why did they
wedding
give them
gift,
cats?
but
Why did they give Viking brides cats?
a lot of people are saying because of Freya, she was a cat goddess, that sort of thing,
Oh,
goddess of
God.
love and protection. So there's a lot of stories that maybe they did this.
I'd sooner believe
but-
it was a wedding gift.
No.
Right.
Right? Here's
This
a
is-
mouser for your houser.
This
Right.
is dumb shit on the same level as the katanas are folded 700 times. I'm like, that'd be dumb. Since
Yeah.
metallurgically that'd fuck it up and there wouldn't be any layers, but
Right.
But
sure.
I also found out some interesting facts. So when we domesticate animals, the animals themselves tend to get smaller. So cows aren't necessarily as big as they were. So
Yeah.
like you look at a bison,
yeah.
and you look at a cow, and there's
Yeah.
definitely a size difference,
Okay.
right? Dogs are 25% smaller since we've domesticated them.
Okay.
However, cats have gotten 16% larger since we've
Well,
domesticated
that's
them.
just because they eat too much.
Well, because they have a more steady diet and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. But dogs
'Cause they
also
eat too much.
have a more steady diet, but shrink instead
Yeah,
of
okay.
get bigger. So it's a
Right.
different.
It's
Yeah.
the reverse of the lobster problem.
Yeah.
That as more of them bred, more of them got to express the big ass gene as opposed to right. We've hunted lobsters to the point where the giant lobster DNA part that
Yeah.
makes the monstrous ones
Yeah.
is no longer found in the wild.
Oh, interesting.
All right, we caught them all.
Yeah.
But I thought big lobsters didn't taste as good.
Nah.
That's what I.
They
thought was
don't go.
going
They
on.
don't. They get sold for lobster salad
Yeah.
rather than the perfect lobster is 2 pounds for the boiling. So
2.5. Yeah.
I don't know. I never had bigger lobsters, so
No, that's just what I've been told. I don't eat lobster on the reg or at all.
we also
really,
tell
so-
people that like the marbling in meats are important, and it was in 18 something.
okay.
You can finish that off now with a type of feed.
Okay.
So I don't know enough about that to be entirely sure, but
Okay.
Well, and that's
it's easy enough to damage what people think is why they want a thing.
Yeah, there's, they'll feed them on one diet, but then they'll say grass finished and stuff
Right.
like that. Yeah, it gets weird.
No, but it's why the portions are always getting smaller, and corporate's always willing to say, well, our research shows that people want a smaller portion. I'm like, that's a fucking bullshit lie right there.
bullshit
If
on
nothing
its
else,
face.
my dogs wanted some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
so again,
my cats ate it
corporations
16
are not
years.
your friends, and corporations are not people. Well, I will say that till I die.
Corporations make celebrities, so they're not your friends either.
So, does
Don't buy
anybody else
crypto.
have something they want to discuss?
Send us all your
before we
crypto.
Say our heartfelt goodbyes this evening.
I was going to say everything I ever knew about lobsters, I learned from a friend of mine who had a quarter interest in a lobster boat. Of all
Fair.
things.
That's
He
kind of
sold-
all you need to know.
He sold
what that guy
computers
was.
for a living and had a quarter interest in a lobster boat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, for one thing, he got free lobsters.
That's a good deal right there.
Yeah, no, fucking all about free lobsters.
No, I just think of the pictures we have from like the 30s when it's the giant,
Yeah.
right? And those don't exist anymore.
On the rare occasions when they caught those, usually they threw them back. Once in a while, they'd bring one home with them.
Yeah.
And they didn't want them. So if he wanted it, they'd rather have him take that
Yeah.
than, plate-sized lobsters. So he would get them and bring them home, and his wife would make lobster salad out of them.
Yeah.
But he would leave them loose in the refrigerator for her to find. So
That would make me mad. No, but I wanted to say that there's a fun bit of trivia that I know
What's that?
about lobsters.
what's that?
Do you know it used to be a trash fish?
I can believe
So
it.
they actually used to feed it to prisoners
Oh,
back in the day.
Yep.
Because people are like, I don't want to eat
I was
this
going to
sea
say,
roaches.
it's so
fish.
ugly looking.
Yeah. Sea
It's like
roaches.
crawfish.
Yep.
Ugly bugs.
But yeah,
Oh, damn, are they good eating?
back in the day, our
Oh,
prisoners were eating because they were so common and they were just
Yeah.
nobody ate them back in the day, so wasn't a thing. I don't
Good
know
job,
the
humans.
exact time frame that it switched over to becoming
God,
popular.
Well, you now
but,
have an assignment. Find out when they were fed to prisoners.
but yeah, no, I remember when I read that, I was like,
What the?
that's
Yeah.
cool. But anyway, so we're leaving you on that note that prisoners used to get lobsters. Keep that in mind, you prisoners. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review. Go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces.
Comments are most treasured.
For fun memes and a link to our Patreon. Give us $1. You can find us on YouTube as BoomerRex. Or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean. And if you want to listen to our 113th episode, you have to go to Podbean or your favorite podcasting service. It has been removed from YouTube. So hit us up on Twitter at BRexTonight. We love you all, and we'll see. It's Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see you back here tomorrow night on BoomerRexTonight.
So much cowboys.
All right.
Like hillbillies and things.